Hello.
Woo!
Brain Candy Pop Podcast, episode 812. Welcome.
Hi.
What rhymes with 12, Sarah?
Actually, not anything good.
Shelf.
I have nothing. You
Are
threw
you
me
sad?
off. I mean, a little, but I always in my head rhyme, and I bet you listeners who are like me do too. But,
Delve.
episode 12.
Gonna delve.
No, nothing sounds good.
This is like my episode. I can finally rest in peace.
It's like rhymes with orange. Just hit a big
Hello, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing great. This is one of my favorite seasons, and you're going to be like, probably because it's springtime, or she's going to say something annoying and outdoorsy. No, here is why. Because the Little League World Series is on TV, and
you love it.
It is the cutest thing in the whole world. Try to watch one of those games and not cry.
Really? You watch the whole game, 9 innings?
I'll just put it on in the
highlights?
background, or I'll go to a bar and be like,
It'll be on.
it'll be on, and it is some of the most heartwarming stuff. It really makes me feel like, okay, maybe there's hope. I see.
Why? What are they doing?
Well, there was I posted this the other day. There was a pitcher who threw the ball and hit the batter in the side of the face, in the helmet, and the helmet got knocked off and he fell, and you could tell he was hurt, and the pitcher felt really bad and he started tearing up and getting emotional. So then the guy who got hit, little kid who got hit, comes over and gives the pitcher a hug. And it was on the other team, and they had a moment, and it was so cute. And the coach comes out and is like, "It's okay, he's okay." And I was just like, we need more hugs. We need more hugs in sports. I would be so fucking into baseball and NFL. Could you imagine if every time they fell down, they got up, they gave each other a little hug?
You would love it.
Love it. More hugs in professional sports.
I don't get it, because as a new sports mom.
Oh, yes.
TM,
we're gonna get everyone those shirts.
I don't see that happening. In fact,
Oh no.
I mean, I have to tell you, I kind of love when they get fired up and fucking want to fight each other. Because it's oh my God, you just can't believe it. I'm not seeing hugs. I'm not seeing.
You don't see displays of sportsmanship?
Sure. I mean, most of the time they're civilized, but I do not see these highlight reels in person. It's more there's one you would think, oh, that guy's gonna fucking fight. I mean, so what do you think? Do you think
don't know.
It's baseball?
Maybe is it
versus
Pittsburgh?
Lacrosse? Oh yeah, white trash.
Well, I didn't say that.
I don't know though, because lacrosse is the rich white people.
Yeah, but lacrosse is also kind of
brutal. Yeah, it's like hockey, but without the ice.
It is.
Oh my God. It's fun to watch though. But
brutal.
If they hugged, I would like that too. It'd be cute if they did.
But have you had a situation where somebody got really hurt and then maybe somebody on the team was scared that they were responsible for injuring that other person?
I've just seen them all take a knee to wait while they assess the damage.
Yeah, but maybe there'll be a situation like that comes up, and then
if anybody hugs, I will alert you right away.
Let me know if there's ever a cute display of sportsmanship.
I mean, that would be cute
behavior.
And every so often there'll be a girl. Yeah. Even though it's a boys'
I love that.
league or whatever. That's fun. I
love it.
Seeing those badass chicks fucking dominate.
Yes.
Because they're always bigger than Lincoln.
Women's sports.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of, Sarah already knows this, but I'll delight all of you, because you remember a few episodes ago, I was lamenting that even though I moved back here in 2020 to Pittsburgh, my hometown, I was annoyed because I wasn't seeing anybody from my high school. I was like, what the F?
What's going on?
I want to see what everyone's up to and have a chin wag. And then I specifically mentioned an ex-boyfriend of mine who I knew lived very close by, who I'd never seen at Target or anything, Ryan J. Miller. Well, the wait is over. because his son is on Lincoln's lacrosse team. And I did not know this. And Sarah even went to practice.
Yeah.
We didn't see him.
The questions I would have asked.
I
Susie's
know.
first boyfriend.
And he is a doll baby. And I was just dying to see him because I knew he would still be. He was just one of those people that's like the nicest person you ever met.
Yeah.
And there he was.
That's so
and I was
nice.
like,
And now your
Ryan
kids get to
J?
be friends.
I know, and they are. It's really cool.
That's very
And
fun.
He's as nice as can be, and he's as nice as he was when we dated. And I mean, you can imagine my delight. Every time we show up, I say to Adam, "Where's my boyfriend?" He does not laugh.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But
Is
I
he a
do.
married man? I bet his wife doesn't either.
He is a married man, and she has not been there because they have 4 children, so they have to divide and conquer.
Yes, that's a
But
lot to do.
if she shows up, I will be so excited because
Yes.
I would love to see her too.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that's fun. Ryan J. Miller's back in the fold, everybody. Ryan, if you're listening, I'm so happy to see you and be back in your life. And we're going to be friends. And it's so fun.
I love it.
The end. Okay. Do you have anything else you want to share before I begin the candy?
Let's get sweet over
Candy
here.
it up. Let's get sweet. Okay. First up on the agenda, I think we spoke about this years ago. I want to revisit it though. Do you remember we talked about the reporter for the San Francisco Chronicle who went undercover as a high school student in like 1992? Do you remember that?
You mean the premise for the movie? What
Never Been Kissed?
Yeah.
Yeah, Drew Barrymore. Was that about it, like a journalist? Or was she was undercover? Okay.
Josie Grossi.
Josie Grossi, journalist. Okay, well, this was based on a true story then, because in 1992 or so, a woman went undercover in a San Francisco high school for 1 month. She was 26, and then reported what she learned. And I should say the context for this reporting was legitimate. It was because funding had been cut in public schools.
Okay.
And so the aim was to see like how teachers were coping with having no money or resources, but having to teach all these children. Their classroom size was ballooning and all that stuff. So the intention was noble. But now looking back, a lot of people think these are ethically compromised means of journalism.
Yeah. I don't know why. It's because it's around minors. And you're like, that's the problem that I have, because you're
like an adult pretending to be a kid.
Yeah, that feels not okay. If you're, I don't know, going undercover to investigate white supremacists and maybe have to like fake a few things, okay.
So for you, it's like, well, because I know that what you're describing, that feeling of like,
hopefully fake a lot of things if you're going undercover as a white supremacist, just to make sure everybody knows that.
But what is the fear? Like when you feel that icky thing, what is it that you think could be?
It feels predatorial in a way. I don't know why. I don't know. Because I don't know why it feels icky. What is your feeling? But I know it does.
I know what you're saying.
And you can have it would kind of be like, in order to do an experiment, you have to write out all of the possible like consequences, like the effects.
That's what I want to know though. What is that feeling that we have? What are these consequences that we worry about? If it's it's a female journalist.
Yes, which I already is better.
It is better.
Obviously.
Right.
But so I would need there to be a formal like write up before a presentation of like, here are all of the things that we can anticipate may be issues. Like, what if somebody is approached in a way that's like flirtatious, or how do you like not engage in a way that seems like you are opening the door for any kind of
So
behavior
you're
that's
saying it's like
inappropriate.
sexual predation is
Yeah,
the concern.
I mean, that would always be my concern when adults are around children in a casual way. Like,
Even if it's just the appearance of sort of like this
yeah,
is not the place for adults, kind of. Is what you're saying.
yeah, because you're deceiving the children, right?
Well, I get it, but that's really what I'm trying to get at is this. I have the same feeling, but
Yeah.
then I don't know why. To what end? Why is the deceit so disturbing to us? Because, like, okay, they were lied to. They didn't like it after they found out. They were pissed about it. But then what? They're fine.
Maybe we imagine that in order for somebody to go into that environment and not be found out, they
Yeah.
have to engage in teen behavior.
Mm.
And the idea of engaging in teen behavior when you're an adult with a teen seems icky and weird.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
I mean,
it's
that
like that
is-
Steve Buscemi
Yeah.
meme where he's like, what's up, guys?
Yes, fellow kids.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, that is what the students felt after they were,
Okay.
it was revealed to them. They definitely felt betrayed and they felt this sense of like, hey, we thought you were our friend. And I get it.
Mm.
But I don't get what the long-term consequences are. It's like, okay, you're pissed. That's it. That's the end of the story. And you move on and you live your life.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be approved now. Everyone agrees about that. This is
Yeah.
something that a newsroom now would be like, no, we can't do that. That's whatever.
Mhm.
But I don't know why. So anyway, this gal went undercover at a high school and was just like acting like she was a 11th or 12th grade student going to a full schedule of classes. The only people that knew were the superintendent and the principal, and they approved it. And then the guidance counselor who had to like come up with this woman's schedule of classes. And then
I
nobody
honestly
else
don't.
knew.
I think the cover would be blown because I don't know if I'd be able to handle a high school math class these days.
Yeah, she
I
refused
gotta
to take a math
relearn
class.
variables. Like,
She said,
fuck
I'm not
no.
doing trig. You don't pay me enough to do trig.
no.
So
Wait, okay, good.
not
Smart
doing it.
gal. Okay, she gets a few more points in my book for that.
Yeah. So, but otherwise she did it and she was like, I better not try too hard. I don't want to like blow my cover. And then she got like a C on something and she was pissed because, it's hard and it's like stuff you forgot.
Right.
But anyway, it did the job of exposing what the budget cuts were costing, the students and the faculty.
Yeah,
So that was good.
That's what I would want to know is it a story that could only be told
Mm.
if somebody went
You definitely,
undercover?
she said that you definitely wouldn't get what she observed and frankly, the trust that she had built with the students.
Mhm.
You wouldn't get those same things through a tour or just like an interview with a teacher or whatever. So it's a question of do the ends justify the means?
Yeah. Did change come from it?
Actually,
I mean,
the
have you
article I
seen
read
the school
didn't say.
districts? Have you seen schools?
Right. on
Ask a
federal
teacher.
level?
Nah.
No. Maybe in that district or that city, but it certainly did expose, like, there were rats and stuff.
Oh, gross. Okay.
Yeah, it was
yeah,
like vermin.
I see. Okay. Yeah, maybe go undercover. You know what? It's hard when this is the same thing that happened with that kidnapping on American Nightmare and the Gone Girl story changed how we view things. I wonder if even just the movie Never Been Kissed and those kind of like how we've seen that happen in plots of TV shows, it's kind of made me look at it through one lens that's, I don't know, making me more critical of a journalist who's going in there for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Because
it seems like a sacred space or something that teens ought to have
Yeah, what I'm saying is like maybe it's because of those Never Been Kissed movies that have made it like seem jokey and made it seem more
Oh.
like she's doing it for her own gain and she's doing
Yeah.
it for like it was all centered around her instead of centered
Right.
around the actual story. Like if it were
And
a,
policy and
right,
all of that.
right,
Yeah.
then I bet it would be a totally different movie and I would have a totally different view
Yeah, right.
on this because it's not like she's going in there to get a prom date, which is like what Never Been
Right.
Kissed seemed like.
Which is why the title is weird.
Right.
I've never seen that, but yeah.
Yeah. So
I'll tell you what I have seen and I love, and that's Caraway cookware and bakeware.
seen it on your amazing stove that matches your
Ugh.
amazing tea kettle. It is the
Yeah.
cutest.
It all is. It's the cutest stuff, and it's so high quality. This is Mother's Day dream come true, people.
Oh, hello.
No brainer.
No brainer.
No brainer. I mean, because this stuff works like you wouldn't believe because it's nonstick but non-toxic. So great for cooking and baking. And I don't know what more I could do to convince you.
Mm-hmm. You've seen
I've
the
done
videos.
demonstrations. You've seen
You've seen the videos. You've read the reviews.
Right. Come on.
Yeah.
Pull the trigger. Mother's Day. Maybe get something for yourself if you want. Just as a reminder, their internet famous cookware set comes with a saute pan, fry pan, Dutch oven, and saucepan. That is great for someone getting married.
Yeah.
Plus lids for all of them, a canvas lid holder, magnetic pan rack for storage.
I
It's
love
the
that.
ultimate kitchen setup. It will save you $150 versus buying them individually, so you get the deal there. Plus, if you visit carawayhome.com/braincandy, you can take an additional 10% off your next purchase. This deal is exclusive to our listeners, so visit carawayhome.com/braincandy or use code braincandy at checkout. Caraway non-toxic cookware made modern.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So they had they asked some of the students to meet up and talk about it. And they were still kind of sore, as they said in the 70s, about it.
I think it's just the being duped thing.
Yeah. Nobody likes that.
That's it. Because that's the part, I mean, as somebody who had, hundreds of thousands of dollars stolen from her on reality television, I care less about the money and more about the fact that I was duped.
Yep.
That's the part
you feel like a fool.
that I hate. It is for me the worst feeling.
Uh-huh. I do understand it. I just think we should continue doing stuff that's important unless there's some important long-term effect, which I'm not seeing.
Yeah.
I'm open to hearing it, but I didn't read it in the article. Okay. Did you see the article in The Atlantic about the stuffed animal renaissance that's happening with older folks?
I did hear that they're on NPR they were talking about at what point in the relationship do you introduce your significant other to your stuffed animal. So I think this has been a theme that's been going on.
Okay. Well, so what percentage of adults would you say in the U.S. sleep with? Don't own, sleep with. Snuggle.
Every night?
It didn't specify, but it's implied. Yeah, what percentage?
10%? 5%? 10%?
The answer is shocking 40%.
Whoa! Okay, I am saying this as a person who owns a stuffed animal. Shout out to Lammy. And good. I was like, Susie, you better laugh at that. That was hilarious. Shout out to Lammy.
Shout out to Lammy.
And when I am in need of some snuggles, sometimes Lammy comes out and she stays like she, he, they. It feels more like a they.
Gender neutral.
Yeah, stays in my closet in a place that's very accessible, but not out.
Easy access. Right. Okay, well, this is going to, I think, affect how you feel about it. Lammy is a legacy stuffy. This is something you've had your whole life.
Legacy, day one.
Sentimental stuffy. Mm-hmm.
Legacy stuffy. I just love that. It makes it seem less weird now.
Well, it is.
Okay. Good. I like where this is going. Got it.
These young people, adults, are buying them new for this.
I know what this
different.
we need more hugs. This is
Wait,
more
did we already
evidence.
say that?
Yeah, because I was talking
When
about the sports thing. How there's more hugs.
Oh, right,
I want more hugs in sports. I want more hugs. If we probably need less stuffed animals if we had more hugs.
That's not my takeaway. My takeaway is we need more grit.
Oh,
Because I
shit.
get it.
Maybe you're right. Actually, oof.
Hugs are great. Hugs are great. And stuffed animals are great. But I think there is an underlying issue that maybe we should talk about.
I would argue that not no one. I would say I would rank high in grit and resilience.
Mm-hmm.
High grit, high resilience.
But
Close
you love a
stuffed
hug.
animals.
Mm-hmm.
Stuffed animal is in the bed maybe 2 nights out of the month.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a stuffed animal person.
I think that
maybe
you
not the purchasing
could
one right
do
now, but
0 nights a month if you wanted. No.
I mean, I could, but I'll tell you, when I was at the hospital and I was going through that surgery and I was having those pains and everything, and even back at home, I needed that stuffed animal. When I've got I needed it was some sort of emotion, it helps me to emotionally regulate.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm here to say that worries me.
I could regulate without it.
And I think you should.
But it's almost like what I needed to regulate. Well, here's the thing. I know in those moments what I really want is a person to hug and to take deep breaths with and to hold me and to be like, everything's going to be okay. But I either don't know how to ask for that or that person isn't available. So
You mean emotionally?
Yeah.
Available? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, or just I'm alone. It could just be that I'm by myself and I just really want a person to.
Yeah, I just wanted to indict somebody, but
yeah,
okay.
yeah, exactly.
All right.
So
fine.
I want something to emotionally be there, and if it's not,
you don't
then
want
I
to be
use
alone.
the stuffed animal, and so that's the feeling that it fills, is that feeling of. But if I had the person there, if I have I don't need my stuffed animal and my mom.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need Susie to hug me, and when I come to Pittsburgh, I don't bring Lammy.
Yeah, right.
Because tank is full.
That's, I guess, what I'm getting at is that Lammy is a symbol for me that you are not being served.
Oh.
Or you don't have what you need in that moment.
Yeah, yeah.
And that goes for anybody's Lammy.
Yes.
That I'm not discounting their feeling. I'm saying that's real.
Yeah.
But that's a problem.
Yeah.
That if you don't feel supported by your family or your community or your friends or your partner,
we're looking in the wrong places.
Maybe.
That's actually a good point. Yeah, that it can be a helpful tool, but if it's the thing that you're using instead, it's okay. I don't need the human connection. I'll just get the comfort from my stuffed animal.
I guess this is kind of like the pet thing we keep revisiting.
Well, and I feel like I've seen documentaries about the same sort of wave happen in Japan. And that's where there were all those cuddle cafes that started, and that people were replacing human connection. It was like this wave of loneliness, an epidemic of loneliness. That's maybe kind of become a pandemic of loneliness.
Yeah. Right.
And there is a stuffed animal culture there.
There for sure. No, that's why I get what you're saying. They even love a claw machine, those people. Yeah, but they love a vending machine. They love a claw machine. They love a stuffed animal that comes out of the claw machine.
And in a lot of ways that human interaction has been cut off and replaced with technology in some very innovative and fun ways. But now you can go to a restaurant, not speak to a human. You can go check into a hotel and not speak to a human. And so much of what we need is just the opposite of that.
Okay. So I'm going to tie it together, but it just sort of rung in my brain when I was watching this video of one of the Titanic survivors did a this is from
how
1979.
Okay. I was like, how
You know my
are
YouTube feed
people
is from
still
like
alive from the like?
my YouTube
Talk
feed
about
is a
unsinkable.
time capsule
Yes, got
into
it.
the past.
Got it.
And it's from the BBC and it was from 1979 and he was very old at that time. And his interview was so interesting and he was so elegant and handsome and articulate that I thought he's a survivor, number one. And also he's so handsome and articulate that I thought he must be one of those first class passengers.
Mm-hmm.
But he actually he worked on the Titanic and survived. But I was listening to him and then I looked him up on Wikipedia and his life after he survived. They sent all those lifeboats out. He helped all these people to get on the lifeboats and then he's on there. There's no more boats. And then, you know, when the boat kind of goes from like horizontal to like vertical?
Scariest part.
Yeah. At that time, he had gone up to the poop deck. So he's up on that part that's way high up in the air.
Yeah. Oh,
and
my God.
Then the boat
goes
starts
down
sinking.
And that's really scary because then you get this vacuum like pressure.
Yeah, nightmare.
Oh!
And so he had to jump off there into the water. Somehow didn't hit anything or die doing that. Then somebody got him into a boat from there.
Oh,
then
it's so
after
cold,
he survives,
the idea of being in that water,
right?
Cold thinking about it.
And like he carries around this like pocket watch that stopped at the time that it fell into the ocean.
Whoa.
Then after that, he's in 2 world wars, and even like when he went back to England, that was his job, is working on boats. He had to get on other boats and work on them even after he'd sunk. Yeah.
Right.
So like I'm looking at this guy and I'm thinking, and he said he still had nightmares. It wasn't like he was immune to the pain of it.
Right.
But he went on with his life. He had that grit that is, I feel, rarer now, that people now are like, oh my gosh, she said something that hurt my feelings and I need therapy for 3 years about it.
Right.
Where this guy survived the Titanic sinking and world wars and had a beautiful family and like still was this elegant, put together person. And I just thought we all could be that. We have it in us. It's almost like we don't believe in ourselves. What do you think? Am I being a big old asshole?
No, I don't. I think that you're being right on. I think, you know, in the other podcasts I do, and this changes everything. I have been talking about this with multiple guests who are like experts in anti-fragility and building resilience and putting yourself out there and overcoming challenges. And I am hearing from so many different fields of study the same things over and over, that we need opportunities that test ourselves, that create that grit and that resilience that you were talking about. And you know, it's like safe danger. We need a little, I mean, maybe we don't need to be on the Titanic and have it sink and do that, but maybe you can challenge yourself to learn how to swim, or then maybe go kayaking, or then maybe go, you know, whitewater rafting. I don't fucking know, whatever. Or maybe like, I'm scared to talk to people. Say hi to somebody at the grocery store, a stranger.
Like do hard things.
Do hard things. Yeah. And just kind of test yourself.
I want to say too that I am well aware that I'm sure a lot of the survivors of the Titanic became alcoholics.
Right.
Or became like people that couldn't function properly.
Right. Shut down.
I'm not saying this is a representative sample of like what happens when you just get through something. Because sometimes it doesn't go like this. Yeah. Where you just carry on and everything's okay, even though it's hard. So there's more to that story. This is not a representative sample. But I was moved by his strength.
What if you found out that he had a favorite stuffy?
I would die.
He's like, I made it through, all thanks to my blankie.
What if?
You know, I think I love a comfort thing. but I don't think we should use those to avoid
Yeah.
hard things.
I know who can help people with that. That's BetterHelp. And this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. So I got to tell you why it's great.
My favorite.
We love it. Shout out to
Shout out Sherry.
Sarah's girl is named Sherry.
Yes.
Sherry's awesome. But we've both had great experiences on there. And they have therapists that can help you in all kinds of specializations. And you don't have to go anywhere.
Right.
You can just do it from your house or wherever you are. And Sarah has been trying the feature of the journaling component, which I have not tried. That's a very intriguing element.
Yeah, and they give you little prompts, so you don't even have to like come up with something. It could be just, and you can shuffle through them to find one that, you know, fits for you. You do a few little sentences. You can keep it for yourself. You can share it with your therapist. I think it's great. You can communicate with your therapist just in a chat.
Yeah, you could just text.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Having a little check-in, you know. I texted with Cherry the whole time I was in the hospital.
Oh, and what a help, I'm sure. More
Absolutely.
than Lammy, maybe.
Way more. 100%. Way more.
Designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. You can fill out a little questionnaire. You get matched with a licensed therapist. You can switch anytime. Get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/braincandy today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/braincandy. Well, I mean, in keeping with the theme, I did watch on, I think it was Netflix, the documentary about Dan Rather, the newsman.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I've always been a Dan Rather super fan. I've always loved him.
Yeah. He does have a great voice.
He has a great voice. And I think I really became enamored with him. I think it was 2008. It was one of the presidential elections. And I think it was Obama. But all I know is you could find a supercut of it. But like this guy, Dan Rather was losing his marbles, being hilarious. Like all these he's from Texas. And you know how they have all those like colloquial.
Yes, I love a good one.
He was doing that like crazy. And it would be like, that's like jam on a biscuit or whatever. And it was just these crazy things because he didn't have a teleprompter and he was just like going
riffing.
rogue. It was so great. And I was like, what is this guy? Because you never usually see news anchors get like that.
Right.
And this documentary sort of was speaking to that. But I mean, in keeping with the Titanic theme and all that, I mean, this is a guy who is like the old timey, like sort of commitment to service and maybe that Texas sort of idea of like you're patriotic and you do your duty and you do what's right for the country. And like I think he was like tried to sign up for the military, but he had like rheumatic fever or something weird when he was little and he was disqualified. And so his version of serving his country became journalism.
That's great.
And he reported, JFK's assassination and all these like big events.
How the hell old is Dan Rather?
Real old, Sarah. I think he's like 90 now.
Damn.
Yeah, but he looks and seems much younger.
Oh, he's the best.
He's a doll. And he's that old guard of men with honor that I really love.
Yeah.
And I see Adam in that category.
92 years old.
Who would have thought?
I honestly, I did not think that.
Yeah.
I would put him in the same category. Adam is in the same category as that.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
It's just like this dutiful, like honorable man.
Yeah.
But they don't make a fuss. They're not peacocks. And so they don't often get a lot of credit. So I was enamored with it. It was so cute.
Look at him with his wife. That looks cute.
And they've been married forever. And he says, like, he talks about
Love
her.
it.
He's like describing when they met. And he was like, she's so smart and she was so kind and lovely. And she was smoking hot. And they've been married like 60 some years. It's just like, that's how you want your partner to speak about you.
That's the best. She was smart and all this stuff. And then smoking hot.
She's Fox. And do you remember when, you probably don't, but he was mugged in the 80s on the streets of New York. And we still don't know what it means, but I've always wanted to know. When the mugger mugged Dan Rather, he said, Kenneth, what's the frequency? And you remember REM wrote this song, What's the Frequency, Kenneth? Do you know that one?
I don't. Do I? Maybe. I probably do.
I mean, it was like a hit, but it's before your time a little bit. But and it was this sort of like, what did he mean? And the mugger never said like he was working with anyone or anything. So it was like, who's he talking to? Who's Kenneth? What is the frequency? And
that's such a mystery. Did they catch the guy? No.
I think they caught him, but they didn't know what he meant, and I think he may have been mentally ill.
Oh, okay. Well, who knows what he meant then.
I don't think it was like a targeted thing where they knew it was Dan Rather or anything, but so stuff like that. He's just had this very colorful life, and it did take me back to this age of like, I want more of that instead of like people that just tweet dumb shit.
Yeah, well, that's like I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there where you talked about like the honor and the journalism and the reason behind why he wanted to do it. I feel like a lot of the people who just end up on television in general are in search of being on television and the spotlight and like that. I mean, like myself included, you know?
Yeah, it's like a different goal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we need more
I think
of
we
that.
still see some of it, like Ronan Farrow, I think, is still trying to do that kind of journalism and whatever. But it's just news is a different industry now, so we don't have a lot of it.
Media news is a very different industry, and it's being run by advertising more than passionate people trying to inform.
Yeah, it's fun to watch though if you're into it. It wasn't like boring or whatever you might expect, but it was really good. Okay. How about how senior living homes, which are different than nursing homes, it's like the assisted living kind of like interim. A lot of them have invoked these no lift policies. So if somebody falls, they won't help them up.
Yeah.
They just call 911 and get first responders in and make them do it. And so like taxpayers are having to foot the bill when these patients or residents, I should say, these residents of the facility are paying like $7,000 a month to live in this like fancy, nice assisted living. And then they're just getting like 911.
Well, I think what happens is they're missing the right kind of care at the facility. We need this like middle person because I can understand if you have an employee working there who I saw the women who are working at my grandma's senior living home. They were like 5'2" and like, 100 pounds soaking wet, some of them. And if they're injured on the job lifting a patient, that then is a whole slew of problems. So what we need is the appropriate staff, like teams that do that are like the first responders. But
like you could be
available.
A paramedic and be 5'2".
Well, I know that, but that's like part of your job. Like that's part of the job description. Like it comes, I think it's like.
How is that not part of the job description?
I don't fucking know, actually. I don't know. I just feel like there's a different kind of. I can see for like
because like they're paying like $8 an hour.
Yes.
For like those aides.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Who's already cleaning bedpans, and you're gonna have them lift the person who
is like 300 pounds.
Yeah.
And like, how are you gonna do that?
How are you gonna do that?
Yeah.
That's a problem. And then they get injured. The whole system is messed up already. But I can totally see both sides of that, where if I worked there, I'd be like, hell no, I am not for $8 an hour lifting this person up and risking any sort of injury that could come that could put me out of work for forever.
Well, I mean, to be clear though, the policy isn't the employee, it's the owner who doesn't want to be liable.
Yeah.
Or like it's not good, like, oh, they're just worried about their employees. They just don't want to have to
they
pay
just
for
don't.
it.
Right, correct. They don't want the lawsuit
Okay.
of the, like, uh,
Or loss of an employee or
yes,
whatever.
all of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. But like the first responders are
Oh,
like,
God.
okay, but you could just get these like $80 like bands.
Yeah, the machine.
that,
Yes, that's what they need.
You know, like you can have equipment on
Yes.
site that is useful.
Yes.
Because the residents are embarrassed. Like they've
course.
fallen. They're not hurt.
Right.
These are just people that have fallen but not gotten hurt. They just
Right.
cannot get up.
Yeah.
And they're like, please don't call 911.
Yeah.
Like, please just help me. And then they're like, sorry, we have a policy.
We
and then
need
they
the
bring in
right
this
tools
dude.
for that. And then they need staff members whose job it is to just do that.
Mm-hmm.
To have them on call. You can make them whatever, like, I don't know. It's just kind of like you're not going to hire the 5'1" person to be the bouncer at the club. It's going to be a different person.
Yeah.
Let's hire those people.
I know. Yeah.
And give them the tools. Because my brother's a first responder, and I know he hates this. He's like, oh, God. There are other jobs he needs to do. And he's like, so then you got to do a bunch of paperwork for this. And then it is like taxpayer blood. And
when
it's
they say, like, it's not that we
system.
mind doing it. It's that we don't want to not go to an actual emergency.
Correct. Right.
Just so we can get this person who's not injured.
And then imagine there
floor.
is a big emergency and they need like all hands on deck kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And they got to finish up this call with a non-emergency, non-situation, like
just somebody that fell.
The same way we don't need police officers showing up to places where mental health support teams should be showing up, like crisis counselors should be showing up. We do not need first responders showing up to something where somebody on staff who could be a high-risk fall lift specialist. I guarantee they could. You want to make money off it? Great. Make it a weekend course. Make it so they got to like get a certification in it.
Right.
These are the tools you use. You're accepting these are the responsibilities of the job. It comes with, I don't know, different insurance package or whatever. There you go.
Yeah. Well,
Solving problems.
And they're saying
Going to
like,
lunch.
Right. They're just saying that this is not the best system, so that a lot of municipalities are now charging for each lift assist. So like hundreds of dollars, whatever the amount is, somewhere between $100 and $800 for if you're going to call and we're going to do this, you got to pay. And like the facilities are saying, well, how is that fair? Because if I live in a house, I can call 911 and get a lift assist anytime for free. Mm-hmm. These people live here. This is their house. Why can't we call and use this service? And they're like, because it's different and you know it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll tell you what, if I was lifting people, I would be working up a sweat and I would be glad I had Lumi deodorant.
Absolutely. I'm glad I have it, whether I'm working up a sweat or not, because I feel like just being a human makes me stinky.
Yeah,
if I
clammy.
Yeah, just clammy. Like I'm nervous. If I'm nervous, then you get like the fear sweat that is extra stinky.
Who needs it?
Right, and we're in sundress season.
It's sweaty season,
and so it's time to be rubbing that in between those thighs.
That's
all
the beauty.
Over the place.
Lumi deodorant. Put it anywhere between your thighs, under your boobs, under your armpits, on your feet, anything that stinks. And it's going to serve you. And you're going to be like, wow, Susie and Sarah, you've done it again.
Yep.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Doing the Lord's work over here.
Great. They have cream, they have wipes, they have soap, they have bars, whatever you need. And it's so great. And it's not that gross garbage that you're normally using. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% all Lumi products with our exclusive code. And if you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off their starter pack. Come on. Use code BrainCandy15 for 15% off your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. That's code BrainCandy15 at LumiDeodorant.com. Okay. Yeah. I mean, whenever you connect the dots on this stuff, it's always like, to have a for-profit system for any kind of Medicare or
Right.
healthcare or
Mhm.
whatever is problematic.
Oh, yeah. And we got to fix it quick because these senior facilities are popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like
Those
every place
boomers.
I see, I'm like, oh my God, that's another senior living. I'm thinking, oh, these are great apartments. Maybe I'll look at like,
They
oh,
are. They
move into
seem
these.
great.
And then I realized, oh, I can't move in there. It's a senior living facility.
Sometimes you can. Sometimes they accept any age. And I've read about like youngsters that will move in and be like, this is great.
Yeah, I would do that. And then it would be like, that's it for Sarah. We've lost her to the. I would retire. Just like, I don't know how I'd make that work, but I'd be like, nope, no going back. This is where I live now. This is who I am. Me and the other menopausal women.
There are a lot of great things about it.
Yeah, I love. Please, my grandma, she had
They always have like activities.
so many activities. They all the things I want to do. Trivia night. They had Trivial Pursuit. They had
Music.
They had, and I went to her chair yoga class. That was awesome. And yes, I was sore the next day.
Crafts.
So many crafts. Yep.
Yeah.
Vision board making. They had that, hers.
Oh,
Yeah.
are you serious?
Yes.
I love that idea for old people.
Yeah, it was really cute. And they, you know what else they had that I loved? That they had anybody who was a member of the staff who like went anywhere, they would do a slideshow of their trip, and all the seniors would like watch and they were all so into it. It was like the activity
real?
director went to Europe, and he's like, "Let me talk to you about where I went to Europe," and they're like super into it.
That's nice.
It's so sweet. I love it.
Sounds way better than like most of us. Like if somebody gets out their vacation pictures, it's usually like, oh no, I have to look at these.
Well, so I am the opposite. I see. That's why I belong in the senior
For
center.
real?
I'm like,
You
yeah,
want to
show
look
me.
at people's vacation photos.
Depends on where they went and who they went. And yeah, I do. My friend's
Oh,
on a
that's
trip to
real
Europe
nice.
right now, and she is a fitness coach and nutritionist, and she's like always like doing workout stuff and posting all those pictures. And she's in Europe and posted a picture of like a gym selfie, and I messaged her in all caps, "Stop posting gym selfies. This is not what I want to see when you're in Europe. We could see this at home. Stop. Enough."
Yeah, we want to see
I
like
want to see
croissants
croissants.
and
Yes, that is exactly.
Yeah.
I want to see croissants.
Pastries.
I want to see
Cheese.
glasses of wine. I want to
Yeah.
see a cheese board. I want to see the Eiffel Tower. Come on.
Yeah.
So yeah,
We
I do
don't
want
ask for
vacation
much.
photos. Yeah.
Okay. I also watched the Charlie Chaplin documentary.
Mm.
Ooh, that one. I don't know where I watched it. Maybe Max. That guy, not unlike Bob Marley, also has 11 children.
Oh God. Yeah, I feel like I've heard some stories that make me think there's some is a little problematic.
Big problems.
Yeah.
This
I
guy,
get those vibes.
Yeah. He got married 4 times. 3 of them were teenagers.
Okay. The vibes.
Like he kept
were
getting
right.
older and they stayed the same
Oh.
age kind of deal.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you know what? The goofy slapstick, like that. Of course, like the comedy seems.
He was grooming all of them.
Yes.
That's so funny.
He basically did like, oh, look at where's my finger, like, and the only people who fell for it were fucking 16-year-olds. Are you kidding me?
For real.
People are
Sarah.
Please.
It's actually worse than that. I think it was the second one was 12 when they met.
No.
12 years of age.
Okay.
They married when she was 16 and pregnant. And I know.
Ew.
It's so bad.
Charlie Chaplin. You know,
Chuck.
we need. I want all the wax museum. I want them out.
Okay.
Ousted. I'm canceling Charlie Chaplin.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Here's the thing.
Hard line with pedophilia.
I don't have as hard of a line. Here's why. I know this sounds like, oh, really? This is your hot take, Sue. This is like apologist for. But if it were like one wife and they met and he was like 22 and she was like 16 and it was like 1930.
Yeah, okay.
That's no problem for
Right.
me. Everyone was fucking dead by 50.
Right.
Like,
Okay.
you had to, like,
I am with you on that one
expedite.
too. Okay.
It gets bad when, like, they keep being 15 and you're, like, then aging and then there's
Yes.
4 of them.
Yes.
Okay. I agree about that. He's definitely got issues. I can still appreciate the art.
Okay. Right. This is that same separate the man from the art thing. But I'm going to go ahead and say I didn't think his art was that great.
Well, that's the thing. Sometimes I can't. Like, it's not always true.
Yeah.
Sometimes the artist, I'm like, I throw both out.
Yeah.
For him, it's like fucking mostly silent. You know what I mean? It's basically just a walk.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a goofy walk and a cane. Okay. And a mustache.
You're like,
and you lose the top hat and you're Hitler. So.
But that's one of my favorite parts is that he knew that and then made that film. The Dictator.
I get it.
That he made this film that was lampooning and parodying Hitler.
I didn't even realize that. Yeah. That makes sense. I forgot about that one.
But there's a new book coming out called Monsters, and it's about this debate. What do we do with all these men who created these things? It's not like the same as a screwdriver or a pair of scissors. Like if I knew that the inventor of the scissors were a pedophile, I would still use scissors.
Right.
But when it's art, when it's something that speaks to your soul and moves you, it is so complicated.
Yeah. It really is, because there are I can't listen to Chris Brown.
What about MJ? His art is better.
He's the one where I separate it, where I just like
See?
la 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 la.
Sometimes pedophiles can make art that is so great.
Oh, Susie, I hate
Sarah.
I hate this argument. But
it's
fuck
just
if every Michael Jackson
complexity.
song isn't so good.
So good. Like, will you watch The Cosby Show? Are you into it?
No.
Can you watch it?
No.
No, right?
No.
Because it's not good enough.
I hate that. I hate that I am this hypocrite.
No, it's because I don't think it is hypocritical. It really is about cost benefit.
Yeah.
How bad was it?
You know what? It's which is more impactful and which takes up more room in your mind and in your heart. You know, like
and I think what you're exposing is that it forces you to confront the idea that there is no such thing as like a good celebrity in the same way there's no such thing as like an entirely good person.
Right. We are not all one thing.
Yeah. There are degrees, but there are all good. There's good and bad in everybody.
Yeah.
But it's always a bummer when you really liked somebody or their art and then it's like, oh man, you're a creep. And this is another complication. His 4th marriage to this young gal was lengthy. They had, I think, 3 or 4 kids, I think, and seemed deeply in love. And he was like freaking 60 or something, and she's like 20 by the age difference was enormous.
I can't.
It's a lot.
I can't with that.
I know.
I can't.
I hear you.
Yep.
It's a fascinating film though, and it's provides a lot of context for like how he grew up, why he was so he was a sad soul. Like he was an orphan, his mom went to an asylum, that whole deal.
Okay.
You know, you can see why someone got messed up.
Yeah.
But
ugh. Well, and that thing where not all great art is created through pain and suffering, but
doesn't hurt.
Doesn't hurt. And some really like Yeah. It's a
Okay.
shorter list of people who haven't.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who had it easy and then made like incredible art.
Right. Exactly. So maybe this is like the thing where we have to look at it as what comes out of human struggle. Like, what happened to you, not what did you do, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
You know what's... I was telling Adam about how there was this one part of the movie that was shocking, which is like, okay, I'm going to do to you what I did to him, which is they had this, there was this film, it was a silent film, and by then everyone else was making talkies.
Yeah.
But he was like, no, it's silent. I'm going to stick with it. It's what I do. And so he was making this film, and it was about this, it was like a romantic comedy about this blind woman who sold flowers like on the street, and she and he fall in love, and they do so because there was like a misunderstanding where she thought that he was a millionaire. And that scene where she first meets the tramp, Charlie, he wanted perfect. And so I said to Adam, how long do you think it took them to get this scene? And but he was like thinking like how long he would say. And then I'm like, let me just tell you, it's days. So how many days do you think it took to get this scene good enough that Charlie was satisfied? So I'm going to let you guess.
I don't know, 3 days?
It was a 583
What?
days.
5
years.
Oh
Years.
My God. What's
And
up with
everyone just showed up every day to shoot this scene. It was, they framed it as the genius, right?
Oh God.
This is the act of a genius.
Yeah.
This is like, I saw this other clip since now I'm in Titanic YouTube where they were talking about James Cameron and how like he needed the chandeliers to be like, have the exact crystal.
Right.
And like, I am so tired of like this, they're a genius, so we allow them to be Looney Tunes.
Right.
But because if a woman did this, it would take maybe 2-3 days before they'd be like,
yeah,
this lady needs to
Greta
go
Gerwig
to the asylum
that, like,
with Charlie's mom.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Greta Gerwig, for real.
Could you imagine a scene from Barbie taking
years.
5, like, we were mad that it took a few summers to come out.
Sarah, I cannot believe people go along with these men. And they're like, okay, here we go again.
That's a good point.
He's a genius. Something to think about. All right, I'll wrap it up. Let me see if I have...
with cancel him. I don't care.
Oh, I know. I'm gonna think about it in my mind. Okay, I'll tell you one last thing before we go.
Yeah.
This was funny to me. So, your new favorite athlete is this pole vaulter who was born in Louisiana, but they compete for Sweden because you know how sometimes I don't know why, but anyway, this person this person goes by the name Mondo. Mondo is the best, and he broke the men's pole vault record at a meet in China. He cleared 6.24 meters.
Wow.
And it's a jump of 20 feet and 5 inches. Wow. But, okay, so it's really fun, amazing. It's always fun when someone breaks the record. But this is the 8th time that Mondo broke the record, and he did it in like back-to-back meets. And here's why I love this story. This is definitely something Suze would do. So like every time you break a record, I guess you get a bonus from like, I don't know who is paying out this bonus. So Mondo just like raises it just a smidge.
What a smart, Mondo like this.
Mondo.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mondo
rigging
gets
the system.
Mucho respect.
I mean, is this not delicious?
It's the best. It's so fucking smart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because the minimum you have to move it up is a centimeter. So like,
Oh,
just
he's just raking in the bonuses. That is right. Hey,
Yeah.
if they're gonna make that system that way, get it.
No. Yeah.
I love this. Will he be competing at the Olympics?
Yeah. Mondo
I will be cheering
there.
him on.
Yeah, go Mondo, go. We'll root for Sweden if we
I
have
will
to.
definitely be rooting for Sweden.
Because
That's
wouldn't
great.
you? This is great.
Yes.
Especially since we know that like they don't even get health care and
Right.
stuff.
Take
Maybe
all
in
the
Sweden
money.
they do.
Yeah,
The
probably.
athletes, I don't know. That's probably why he fucking
Right,
jumps for them.
exactly. Yeah. It's like, oh, do backflips.
I feel
for
like
What
you would have
want?
been good at pole vault.
Absolutely not. I don't think I can get this body off the ground. That I'm not. I don't have a lot of vertical jump. My leap was not. And when I did, I got weak bones. So I played volleyball and came down on my ankles, and I broke my.
They said that you have
legs.
weak bones.
Well, yeah, because they break in like splinter, like in all the like when it's not.
Oh yeah, remember when? Listen,
yeah.
if you have not been around a while on this show, you may have missed the story about when Sarah shattered. We can't even say broke. Shattered her foot into a million pieces doing a skip it,
hula hoop,
bop it.
Yeah, essentially twisting the hula hoop around my ankle.
It was okay. Hula hoop
Spinning,
on your
yes,
ankle.
I was hula hooping. I was doing some creative hula hooping, showing off to a 7-year-old, and then I just rolled over my ankle.
Okay, so the hula hoop is on one ankle, and you're doing like that.
Hula hoop is on the injured ankle. Yes, I have the hula hoop on, and I am skippo style skipping over it, jumping over it, and I roll it over, and then my body weight goes over it, and it was just all my 4th, 5th, and 6th metatarsal. Yes, I threw up. It was like one of those where the wave, it didn't really hit me until I was just like, oh no, and then it was so painful, I had to throw up. And then I knew it was broken instantly, but
how did you know? Because of the pain, or it looked weird?
I had broken a bone before, and it's like a internal pain, and it's that I'm gonna throw up right now pain that is very specific to a broken bone. And the only other time I had it with like a really severe sprained ankle, but I know if I get that,
I only had that when I cut my butthole. Right? And it was just the same. Like, it's so painful that your body just wants to eject.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. It's like, and then when I was with my ex-husband at the time, and he was like, well, let's just wait till the morning. It's probably not broken. And I was like, it is. And then he's like, let's put a bag of peas on it to ice it. And I couldn't put the peas on it because it was too painful to put a bag of ice on it. I was like, nope, can't. And then we went
wonder, like,
to the
what's
emergency.
the downside of going?
Well, I think it was like, we'll see if it, because it would, I think it was just a real inconvenience. It was the first time I was meeting his family. We were on a trip to Florida, and we were only supposed to be there for like 2 days, and then I have to go into immediate surgery, and so he had to continue on a trip on it was a business trip he was on that I was coming with him, and I had to stay for a week with his family that I had never met before to heal. Well, I'm like, after I just had 5 screws and 2 metal plates put in my foot.
Man, you really made a real recovery.
Yeah. And I also stay away from hula hoop, so. But that's why I'm not pole vaulting, because I'm too worried about coming down. I'm telling you, it could have been, I know where I could have, the luge, so that's where it's at.
Yeah. We're going to stay on land, on Earth.
Yeah.
But questions came up today, ethical questions about journalism.
Yes.
Stuffed animals.
And I want people to know that
Here we go.
Keep cuddling with your stuffed animal. Love that little stuffy. It's fine.
You sure?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I mean, you can. My message is, you can do that. Yeah. But also, like, you're tough and fine. And
yeah. Well, don't
you
forget
got
that
this.
Too. Right.
Yeah, don't forget it. But also do what you want. Who cares?
Right.
No lift policies. Oh. Another ethical question. And also, should we like Charlie Chaplin?
Yeah.
Because I really would have loved
a lot
Charlie
of ethical
Chaplin,
questions.
Something in my comedy bathroom.
Oh.
Do you think it's no go?
Every time I come over and pee, I'm gonna remember that he grooms
He
young
likes
women,
young girls. Yeah.
and I'm gonna. Ugh.
Okay. All right. I hear you. Thanks for listening, everybody. And as always, thanks for using our code and leaving us nice reviews. It means so much to us. We love
that.
you.
You're the best.
Bye.
Bye.